In this one, we're going to set up the GeoLocator Django project. In the last one, we did have the virtual environment already set up, so make sure that you've done that. And we've also installed a few things, so if you do a pip freeze, you should see pretty much exactly this. If you don't, then make sure you go back and kind of watch those again. That's pretty easy to do. So all we have to do now is Django admin.py to start our project. So start project GeoLocator. And if we list it out, it's going to show up there. Now, in Komodo Edit, we're going to make a new project here. And we're going to go into our desktop, GeoLocator. We're going to save it in the same place as this and just go geolocator.komodo project. Cool, so now it opens all this stuff up. I'm actually going to rename this main folder here to source. And all this stuff should look very familiar to you. Settings, we're just going to go in here and do SQLite 3. I'm going to call it geolocator.sqlite3. And I will activate the admin for now. And let's see, we'll go into URLs. Activate some of this stuff. Just going to get rid of everything else. Actually, going back into settings, we will get rid of docs. We don't need that. Alright, go back into our terminal, cd into source, and then python manage.py, sync database. Again, all this stuff should be very familiar to you, so make sure you follow along, and you can of course skip this if you're already very familiar with it. Alright, so now it's all installed. Now we want to start a few apps. So what we can do is we'll start one called profiles. So python manage.py start app profiles. Let's see, what else are we going to need? We're going to need locations probably. So python manage.py start app locations. And maybe menu items, or let's just call it items. So python manage.py start app items. Cool. So items, of course, will be menu items or food items. That looks pretty good for now. So those are going to be the apps that we'll be working with and that we'll have to create. So in the next one, we will start actually creating those apps. But other than that, we're pretty much ready to go with the exception of our media root and all of those settings. Okay, so now we're going to create this folder called static and make sure it's out here. Notice in this one we're just going to go settings.py. We're not going to do the base and local settings and all that. You can do those things if you want. Just for the case of this project, we are not going to do that. So back in your settings file, we'll do import OS. And then if you scroll down to media root, we will do os.path.join and os.path.dirname file and static media. But of course, that's only going to take us one folder back, so we need to add a few more of these. Let's count it out real quick. So back in here, settings 1 would be in here, 2 would be up 1, and then 3 would be there. Perfect. So 3 of them. That works good. So we'll just copy this. Make sure you put media in here. Settings root. Static only. Make sure you have that trailing comma down in templates. Okay, let's make those folders in here. New folder, templates, new folder, static, New folder, static only. And last but not least, media. Okay, open up terminal. Make sure you're in the root, python manage.py, collect static. Say yes, and static files were copied. Let's go into static only, and there they are. Okay, cool. So now we want to serve our static files in urls.py. We're going to do from django.conf import settings. Make sure it's the lowercase settings. And then the first one, we are going to do static. So our static path dot star. Okay, copy that one, go down, change it to media, and media root. Okay. Make sure that's a comma up there. And if there's no red, there's no syntax errors, looks good. Cool, so now we are ready to start working in our apps. All right, see you then.